Alright, hello everybody, what's happening? Welcome back to another video. Sorry if my voice is gonna go out because I was choking on a carrot right now, and I was eating a carrot and a little piece got stuck and just choked on it for a little, so bear with me here. Hopefully I get through it, but yeah, there it is. So I changed my name right here at the bottom. There's my name, David. That's my name for any of you guys that want to know. David is the name. I don't want to give out my last name just for personal reasons, but there's the name, there's the Twitter and Instagram account. If you don't follow it already, make sure to give it a follow. That's pretty much where I let you guys know if I'm going to be live streaming or not, if I'm going to be live streaming just right after the match or things along those lines. So just make sure to give it a follow, like I said. And yeah, there you have it. So live streams do take place at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time and 2 p.m. on the weekends. Central Standard Time, with the exception of match days. Usually on match days, I just go live right after the game, unless otherwise specified. Usually I just let you know if you know something goes wrong or something along those lines. But yeah, let's get into the topic for today. We got several topics for today, but the big one is of course Neymar. Neymar is the big one. Gosh, I'm crying right now. Just that carrot freaking got to me. But let's go right to the Neymar. Actually, that's the big stuff. You know, the Neymar one is, it just seems to be it seems to be making the headlines at the moment. And man, that carrot is just getting to me. Yeah. All right. So Neymar, the lawyers have been spotted at the Camp Nou. The transfer to Barcelona seems likely now, and what a turn of events! I have to say that a lot of people were saying, "Hey, he's gonna go. He might just come to Real Madrid. He might just come to Real Madrid. The deal will be completed." Gosh. The deal will be completed on this day. The deal will be completed, pretty soon, imminently, shortly, all those things. But man, I'm just crying with this carrot, man. It just got to me. Yeah, it was crazy. James says, "Don't cry, brother." Yeah, this carrot was just absolutely crazy. Yeah, yeah, Neymar. I mean, I'm not gonna try to cry for that. It is what it is. But Little Soccer League Academy says, "Let's sell Nacho." Yeah, I agree with you. I have to say that Nacho, I think at this point his time is up. But I think we'll sell. I think we're gonna keep him. If we do keep him, we'll try to back him. Hi, K. Alexander. Good to see you. Good to see you, James. Trooping. I can't believe you're on, but yeah. Little Soccer League Academy says, "Hey, if Neymar transfers to Real Madrid, still likely?" No, it's not. It doesn't seem to be likely anymore. The lawyers of Neymar have been spotted at the Camp Nou. So it seems like it seems like he might just go to Barcelona after all. El Chiringuito had something to say about that, and El Chiringuito, what they had to say is that the Barcelona transfer actually just seems more likely than the Real Madrid transfer. And Chiringuito, from what I've gleaned so far from their information, seems to be credible sources. You had a Spanish show, El Golazo de la Mañana. They're the ones who pictured the lawyers at the Camp Nou. So, obviously it just points to the direction of Neymar heading to Barcelona. James says his lawyer said he wasn't there for Neymar at PSG. Said he was there for another client. That's what he said. That's what he said, right? You know how lawyers are though. They just lie all the time, and they're very good at lying. But yeah, I hope he's telling the truth. But obviously, he could be lying just to keep away attention. I think so, James. I think that is the case. You know how lawyers are, very very dubious, I would say, when it comes to their statements. Little Soccer League Academy says no. K. Alexander says, "I want Mbappe next season, maybe." Yeah, you know what? If we don't go for Neymar, if Neymar doesn't come to the club, then Mbappe 100%. He's going to come to the club. I don't know if it's going to be next season necessarily. Maybe Mbappe just wants to stay a little bit more, but I think in a couple seasons it's definitely totally feasible. Little Soccer League Academy says, "Come on, Neymar." I heard on ESPN Real Madrid players are imploring Neymar to come to Real Madrid. Yeah, I heard about that too. I heard they're trying to convince him to get him to the club, and of course we all know his quality. We all know he's a great player. Just he has affiliations with Barca, and he has I would say not an affinity for Barca, but he has players that he knows. He has Messi, he has Suarez, and I told you guys about the Messi thing, about the Messi relationship being that big impediment, and it certainly has proven to be the case. You have seen reports that Messi has talked to Neymar about the situation. Messi's trying to convince Neymar to come to Barcelona, to not go to Real Madrid, and I knew that was going to come up. The relationship with Messi, it's just I'm sure he doesn't want to fracture that at the end of the day. Matthias says hi Matthias. Hey, good to see you on the stream. Actually, first time in a while. And Matthias says Mbappe's first choice for me. Yeah, exactly. Mbappe's first choice. I mean, Neymar's 27, Mbappe's 21, I believe. So obviously Mbappe would, is it 21 or 20? I can't remember, but Mbappe, you know, he's the longevity with him is, you know, just be a lot better, more astute decision to get Mbappe. Let's see. IA says Florentino Dimisión and Zidane Dimisión were trending on Twitter in Spain for like 8 hours today. I'm going to be talking about that too, actually. Dimisión resigned. This season is going to be a disaster and full of drama. Let's not get too worried. Let's not, you know, I know this is trending. I know a lot of people are just kind of, they're worried about what the season is going to bring, you know, and I would say I'm not too optimistic about what the season is to bring. I think Zidane will have to learn a lot, and there will have to be, there's going to have to be a lot of learning from Zinedine Zidane's side. And, you know, all the mistakes that he did make, you know, while winning the multitudinous amounts of trophies that he made, he will have to make them this time around. So I just think we have to be patient with Zidane. It's, you know, he is going to be making those mistakes that he didn't make the first time around. James says, Messi apparently phoned Neymar and told him not to sign for Madrid. Exactly. And, you know, I'm not surprised because, you know, Messi and Neymar respects Messi so much. I wouldn't say he adulates Messi, but he respects him to a level that he respects no one else. And that's, for me, that's why I never really thought Neymar would come to Real Madrid. I always put it at a 4 out of 10, and that's why I thought, because of Messi's relationship with Neymar. And then James says, admittedly, I don't understand how any journalist would be aware of the phone call. They track phone calls or something. I don't even know how they do it. It's just so weird. Close relationships with agents, but I don't even know how they do it. I don't know how they do it. You know, tap phone calls or something like that. It's kind of weird. Little Soccer League Academy says, you know, Neymar tried out here when he was 14. I did see that, and blew away our academy and was about to join, but was homesick and didn't join La Fabrica. I did hear about that, and he was supposed to come to Real Madrid. It was like pretty much a done deal, and then yeah, like you said, he got homesick and then he went back. You know, it's kind of weird because he was pretty much a Real Madrid player, but like you said, he got homesick and he went back. So yeah, Matthias says Hazard. Yeah, Hazard. Little Soccer League Academy says, what if we get Neymar this year and Mbappe next year? But then you need space for Hazard, you need space for Jovic, you need space for maybe the up and coming rising stars. I guess you could potentially do that. I mean, Real Madrid have always been a team that, you know, they just pick and choose players and just try to get them to amalgamate together. They don't really, there's no real plan to Real Madrid usually. What they do is they just try to get the top talents from, you know, all around the world, and they try to make him fit somehow. But it's definitely a possibility. Little Soccer League Academy says we need 1 or 2 central defenders. Yeah, 1 or 2 central defenders. If we want to play a 3-5-2, I think we need one more central defender, just because we are a little bit thin. If we are to play a 3-5-2, if we are to play 4-3-3, then maybe we can get by, you know, for this season. And Little Soccer League Academy says Neymar, Pogba, and all-around midfielder Neves and Van de Beek would be perfect. Yeah, for me, we need midfielders. I think if I were to go with Neymar midfielders, I'd go with midfielders just because we're bereft in depth in the midfield positions. We need creativity in the midfield. Van de Beek would actually, you know, he would be perfect, you know, but it doesn't seem like that one's going to happen. I don't want to say it doesn't seem like it's going to happen, but from what I heard today, I mean, you know, I don't know what's happening with Van de Beek. K. Alexander says, how do you rate preseason from 1 to 10? Oof, man, it was abject. Preseason was abject. I'm going to have to rate it a 3. It was horrible. It was horrible. Jonas says, just arrived. Good to see you on the stream, Jonas. Good to see you. Welcome. Matthias says, how would you do the starting lineups with Mbappe, Hazard, Jovic? Mbappe on the right, Hazard on the left, and Jovic as a striker, I'm assuming. Yeah, you could do something like that. Because Mbappe could play on the right, but he is a little bit. Did I miss something, says Jonas? You just missed a little bit about Neymar. Neymar, the situation with him is that the lawyers were spotted at the Camp Nou, and they, you know, James said that supposedly they were in talks for something else, but you know how lawyers are, they lie all the time, and I wouldn't doubt if they were talking about the Neymar situation. And I think that Neymar, like I was saying earlier, I think Neymar, you know, would want to go to Barcelona just because the relationship with Messi is there. He respects Messi. He almost eulogizes, adulates Messi, and you know, I don't think he wants to fracture that relationship. I think if he goes to Real Madrid, he will fracture that relationship to some extent. So I think you know, Neymar is going to go to Real Madrid. Little Soccer League says, let's get Neymar, Pogba, Van de Beek, Ruben Neves, Ruben Diaz, and a world-class defensive midfielder. Oh, those are good shouts, Little Soccer League. Yeah, I like that. That's for sure. James says, to be honest, I think if we didn't want Neymar, Barca wouldn't want him. Barca never needed De Jong, but got him, so PSG couldn't have him. Yeah, I know. Teams do that a lot. You know, they if there's one team that wants a player, the other team will get him, so the other team doesn't get more powerful. I'd say what I mean by that is we signed Danilo, I believe, like a few years back, and I think Barcelona at the time were looking for a right back, and I think potentially, or not potentially, but what might have happened is that we signed Danilo and we didn't really need him. Well, we signed him for Barcelona not to get him. So yeah, teams do that sometimes. James says that they needed De Ligt, try to get him. So, yeah, exactly. Teams do that all the time, and and I think the Premier League used to do that too, where Sir Alex Ferguson, he used to get players from the bottom end of the table to try to weaken those teams and to try to strengthen his team, I guess. Yeah, so teams do that all the time, and it's a very good tactic. Little Soccer League Academy says Hazard dropped them pounds. Yeah, he's gonna drop him. He's gonna drop him. I'm not too worried. And then Little Soccer League Academy says, is Vinicius going to get loaned this season or next season? I don't think he's going to go loaned this season. I think I would like to see him loaned this season, but I don't think he's going to get loaned. Matias says, if we sign Mbappe and Neymar come FFP, we'll be knocking on our door. But look, yeah, Barcelona have Coutinho, Dembele, Messi, Griezmann, Suarez, all on huge wages. So I don't know what's going on there. So maybe FFP will be okay just because they're seeing the situation in Barcelona. They're like, okay, it's okay, Real Madrid, IA says in 3-4 years Messi will retire and they'll buy Mbappe. Yeah. That could be a possibility as well. I think Mbappe wants to play for Real Madrid. I think that is his dream though, and I think we did see him in a Real Madrid shirt when he was very very young, and he likes CR7 a lot. So I think his dream would be to play for Real Madrid. But if he does get a contract from Barcelona, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to Barcelona. And then IA says, just wait, it's going to happen. We just can't get anything done. Nothing seems to be going for us nowadays. Well, football works in cycles, Football works in cycles, and I know that a lot of fans, they get a little bit agitated, They want things, they want us to win every season. They want, they always want Real Madrid to be at the apex or at the pinnacle of the footballing world, but that's not always how it happens, and we just kind of have to accept that, I think. And although I want to see Real Madrid all the time succeeding, it's inevitable that Real Madrid won't always succeed. We'll have these kinds of purple patches, and we are in purple patch right now, and I think the next few years we will be in that little patch, but hopefully we can get out of it pretty soon. Let's see. Little Soccer League Academy says preseason was dismal. I mean, dismal. We were terrible. Yeah, we were absolutely terrible in preseason. I mean, it's preseason though. Let's not take it too seriously. We've had terrible preseasons before. This one doesn't. This one looks worse than the others, I have to say though. Creative content. Thank you for being on Creative Content. Van de Beek plus Pogba or Neymar. Yeah, something like that could work out. I mean, I would say I would like, for me, what I would like is Van de Beek and Pogba. Just because we're bereft of squad depth. Especially in the midfield position. We need midfielders. We need creativity in the midfield. That's what links up. I would say, that's what links us to the attack. If we don't have that midfield, then the attack, they don't have, supply, I guess, and they don't have service, and they can't score because they're not getting any chances. So we need more midfielders than we do strikers, I would say. I think Jovic will come good, and I think he will score the goals. Let's see here. I hope I don't skip some stuff. Little Soccer League says Neymar can still come. I hear Florentino is trying to tempt Neymar with a huge wage. Yeah, it's still a possibility, I would say. I think Neymar, it's still possible. I just say let's not be let's not be precocious in saying that Neymar is going to come to Real Madrid. It's still there, but I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I hear we're tracking De Ligt and want to activate his release clause. De Ligt just moved though, so we have to wait on that, So we'll just have to wait a little bit. Creative Content says Serge Gnabry or Jadon Sancho. I haven't seen so much from Serge Gnabry. I've seen him a little at Arsenal, and obviously didn't do so well at Arsenal. He had the potential, but it never really worked out for him. So I'd have to say maybe Jadon Sancho, just because from what I've seen from Jadon Sancho, he looks like a real good player. But like I said, I'm always apprehensive when it comes to English players. But Jadon Sancho, it looks good. Here Mbappe is a Barca target, says Little Soccer League Academy. Yeah, I'm hearing that too. I would say Mbappe is we have to wait. He's not gonna move. And he's definitely gonna be a Barcelona target. He's a very very good player. But I think Mbappe, he's going to stay at PSG for a couple of years, and then he will make a decision. And then at that time, we can further assess the situation. We can go after Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling could be good. He just scored a hat trick. Obviously, he just had a brilliant season in Premier League, so he could be a good player for us. Sancho to solve our right wing problems for this year. Jadon Sancho. Yeah, that's right. I'm always, like I said, I'm always apprehensive when it comes to English players, but in recent years, we've seen more and more of them. What about Harry Kane? He's a goal-scoring machine, says Creative Content. Harry Kane could be good, but I never really liked him. I'm not sure why. I know he takes his chances well and everything, but I don't know about him. It's yeah, I don't know. I know Harry Kane's good, but like I said, I'm always apprehensive when it comes to English players. We need a defensive midfielder. Casemiro, good. Defensive midfielder we need, and like I said, midfielders we need. We let 3 midfielders go. We haven't replaced them with essentially any midfielders, and I don't understand why. What if he has a bad run of form? Exactly. Complacency will grow if that happens. Little Soccer League Academy says, what's going on with Disco? I don't think anything, to be honest. I know there's been rumors over the summer, but I don't think he's going to leave the club. I would be very surprised. Jonas says, Real should sign Icardi or Aubameyang. We need a poacher in the box. Icardi could be a good shot, actually. I like Icardi, and Aubameyang obviously has that pace, blistering pace. We saw it, we see it time and time again. And, he scores goal. I think last season he was almost top scorer. If he was, I don't know if he was top scorer. Was he top scorer? I can't remember. But he's a very good player. He always wanted to play for Real Madrid, so could always be good. James says, last week when I heard the Van Beek deal was complete and would be announced, I thought something could go wrong because of the time, and I think it has gone wrong. I hope that's not the case. I really hope that's not the case because we need midfielders, and it seems like all the transfers have kind of, I would say, fallen this week. It's kind of weird because last week we were linked to several players, and now it's just kind of all falling down the drain. So it's a little bit weird. James Schooling says, what does precocious mean? Precocious is like just a little bit early, a little bit too early, I would say, than normal, I guess you'd say. So yeah. Little Soccer League Academy, I hear Real Madrid want to activate Joao Felix release clause in several seasons. We're attacking him heavily. Zidane loves him. I mean, yeah, we have to wait on that. He just arrived, so we just have to give it a little bit of time. But it's a potential. It could definitely happen. We've seen it. We saw it with Marcos Llorente where he did go to Atletico Madrid, so that's definitely a possibility. And then Little Soccer League Academy says, I hear Zidane wants to buy this young Benfica center back called Francisco, and Real Madrid have inquired Benfica about Ruben Diaz. That's very good news. Because if we are to play a 3-5-2, which I don't know if we will play, but if we are to play that, then we do need a center back. I did like the 3-5-2. I think the only thing is that we didn't create that many chances. That's what I don't like about the 3-5-2. Defensively, we look solid. I think the other thing I want to say about the 3-5-2 is on the wings we don't look that good defensively, and obviously the 3-5-2 you're very strong in centrally, but on the wings you're it's not that you're weak, but if you have Marcelo attacking all the time, defensively you will be weak because Marcelo likes to go up and he's not very good at coming back, so yes, you will be weak in that aspect. Carvajal going up, he's okay, I would say, but yeah, in the past few years, like people have said, we haven't seen it. Little Soccer League Academy says, come on, Van de Beek, we should go in heavily after Ruben Diaz. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Ruben Diaz is good. Let's see here. I want to get into the next topic, of course. Man, I talked so much about everything, I'm probably going to come up with another setup after all this stuff. But yeah, obviously I want to talk about Florentino Perez and the Zidane demission. I've been seeing that on Twitter as well, and I think we just have to be patient. We're just going through a purple patch. We haven't even started the season yet, and we're already seeing this. I mean, and this is why Real Madrid fans just get hated so much. It's because we vacillate so much, and the reason, I would say it's kind of normal for people to dither, I would say, but the reason we do it so much is, I would say, of course, there's a lot of, I wouldn't say insecurities, but of course you always want to be at the top, and if you're not at the top, then of course you want to have someone who can help you be at the top, but that's not always possible. That's not always possible, and I know Real Madrid, I know that we always want to be at the top, but we do have to be realistic. We have to be pragmatic. We have to realize that sometimes we're just not going to be at the top. And it doesn't mean that we have to be Zidane out, Florentino out, Florentino this, Florentino that. It's not that. It's not Florentino's fault or this or that. It's Florentino has done his bits. He's bought players. He's brought in players that where we needed. I would say further consolidation. We brought Luka Jovic, a proven striker from the Bundesliga. We need a striker. Left winger. We need a left winger. Eden Hazard. He brought in Eden Hazard. Who else has he brought in? I can't even think anymore. But he's brought in a few players, where we needed players at. Mendy's another one of them where we needed a consolidation at left back, and we got that. So, for this all Florentino Dimisión, Zidane Dimisión, I don't really understand it too much. We just have to stay, we just have to stay a little bit calm, and things will come. Things will come naturally, and yes, sometimes, like I said, we won't win every season, and it's just we have to be patient, I think that's the tough thing for us to realize. Of course, it's Real Madrid, at the end of the day, but we do have to realize that sometimes, we just have to give it a little bit of patience, Let's see here. What else did I want to say? So yeah, just some things that I wanted to say about that subject. I know I've been seeing it a lot, and I've been kind of, I would say, I don't really like this, and that's why Real Madrid fans get a lot of stick, from other fans, and it's not a bad thing. I say the ruthlessness here at Real Madrid is not a bad thing, That's what makes us very successful here at Real Madrid. If we wouldn't have the ruthlessness that we would have, that's idiosyncratic to our club, then we would be, like Arsenal, like Manchester United, where they become complacent with their players. You look at Manchester United, Ashley Young, Chris Smalling, Phil Jones. You look at Arsenal. They've had a few players of their own, Aaron Ramsey, who have stayed over the years. Although he's been a great servant to the club, it was, they should have moved him on a long time ago. He's very, very injury prone. Mustafi was a very good player for La Liga, and I don't understand what happened to him in Arsenal. And they should move him on, but they don't move him on, So I think ruthlessness is good. I think, here at Real Madrid we do need that, but I think it does, to a certain extent. I would say it's, we got to give things some time. We got to let things take their own trajectory, I'd say. Creative content says Bernardo Silva would be awesome. That's a good shout, creative content. I really like that, actually. Bernardo Silva, I've seen some amazing things from him, and I think he can take on the right wing position. He's obviously not as fast as maybe a Kylian Mbappe or as a typical winger, but he could definitely be good for us. IA says, if we continue playing like this, then expect Zidane to get sacked by December and Mourinho coming in for him. But see, there you go. But the thing with Mourinho, is he a lot better than Zinedine Zidane, Yes, he brings different things to the table, but, there are some things, that he will mess up, I would say. And maybe I know Mourinho's a good, he's okay, I would say. He is a good coach, in certain aspects, but I don't know if he'd be so good for us, especially in this day and age. I says, I don't care if we don't win, but I at least want the players to actually try. Yeah, exactly. Me too. Some of the players, I haven't seen them really trying, and of course Zidane has to improve tactically. Tactically, that's only normal, but yeah. Right now, they just seem like they don't care. They hardly seem to write. Yeah, exactly. And I think there's a lot of complacency. I think we need players who are just hungry. Who really want trophies, who haven't won any accolades here at Real Madrid, who are, like I said, who are hungry, who want to achieve. And that's what we need. Let's see. James says my Wi-Fi went out, but I am back. Man, that sucks. Good to have you back. Yeah, that sucks. I know that deal. I hope my Wi-Fi doesn't go out. That's kind of scary. Dinesh, hey Dinesh, good to see you. Good to see you. I don't think we can get Pogba and Neymar this season, so we should concentrate on Van de Beek and one CB like Ruben Diaz or one CDM like Ruben Neves. That's good. I really like that comment, Dinesh, because those are very, very realistic, I would say. Pogba, to some extent, I guess, is realistic, And actually, let me get to that right now. I'm gonna switch it right now to the Paul Pogba situation. So I'm gonna bring up the Paul Pogba. I put Van de Beek there. I wish I would put Paul Pogba, but the thing with Paul Pogba is, he said everything he needed to say to leave the club, to leave Real Madrid. So, he said everything he needed to say, and he wants to leave the club. He said the things he needed to say. I think the discrepancy lies between Florentino Perez and Zinedine Zidane, where Florentino Perez doesn't really want him, and I think that's why he's not really, really trying to get him. And Zinedine Zidane still really, really wants Paul Pogba, but Florentino Perez is not trying, and ultimately he has the power, so he's not really trying to get Paul Pogba. But we do need someone like Paul Pogba, but if we don't get someone like that, then yeah, we should concentrate on someone like Van Beek or Ruben Diaz. Obviously a center back. We do need a center back. We have the funds. This is Real Madrid. This is not I don't know, Doncaster Rovers. IA says Mourinho has tactics and a system of play, so that's what we need. Yeah, I do like that. I have to say, Mourinho does have that, and yeah, that's true. You're right. I have to give it to you. IA says, and he doesn't have a club, and Perez loves him, so he'll be first choice. That's true. That's true. I mean, it could be good. It's always a risk, but he is proven. He is, he did well at Real Madrid, But the last season, I always remember the last season. It was just horrible. But you know what? If 2 seasons, if we can get a good 2 seasons, it could always be worth it. Matthias says, "I'm back." Oh, you too? Yeah. James was out a little bit too, so it's all good. It's all good. Matthias says, "What plays do you think we will make this season?" Well, it's not looking good so far, but I think the players will turn up in La Liga. I'm going to say second. I don't think we'll win La Liga, but second, So it's not going to be that great. Creative Content says, "What about Pjanic?" I like Pjanic. He's a little bit deeper, I would say. We need a little bit more creativity, but Pjanic is a good player. Is he what Real Madrid needs at the moment? I'm not too sure. I think we need a little bit, someone with more, I would say, not tenacity, but, assiduousness, someone who can run a little bit more. And it's not that Pjanic doesn't run, it's just he likes to play a little bit deeper. But yeah, he could be a good player, obviously, for Real Madrid. I think he is Real Madrid quality. Goretzka is also good CDM. Yeah, he is good. I've heard good things from him. I've never really seen him, but yeah, I've heard good things from him. Gabriel Labonte says his tactics are dead in modern football. I'm assuming you're talking about Mourinho. I mean, I don't think they're dead to all. I think they're still very much alive. I think they just didn't work at Manchester United, and it's not about you go to one club and it's essentially just dead. I think they still work, and I think I wouldn't say I hate his pragmatic style, actually. I kind of like it. I remember when Real Madrid were, they would sit back and that would get frustrating. But I remember the counterattacks too in Mourinho's time, and it was amazing. We're playing so vertically. I really like that from Mourinho. Dinesh says Zidane transfer business this season is too average. We have the choice to sell Nacho to Inter. Yeah, I know we should sell Nacho to Inter. Vasquez to Arsenal. Yeah, we should have done that too. We can easily sign Ndabella or Rabia, but we missed. Yeah, that's true, Dinesh. You have good points. Some of the transfers have been questionable. You look at obviously Ceballos to Arsenal, and Llorente to Atletico, Kovacic to Chelsea, and now we don't have a midfield. So some of them are questionable, but let's see, I guess, right? Jonas says if Real Madrid wants to capitalize on Barcelona being bad in La Liga, then Real Madrid needs to spend money and buy some top players. Exactly. And we have the necessary funds at Real Madrid, You can't tell me that we don't have necessary funds, because they're there. We're we're the biggest club in the world. I don't understand why we wouldn't have the necessary funds that can improve the midfield and attacking area. Yep, I think the midfield right now at the moment is certainly the priority, but attacking area could certainly use some consolidation, especially on the right-hand side. James says, here in the UK, the La Liga TV rights haven't been purchased yet, and I have a bad feeling I'll have to watch the whole season on streams. I've been doing that for a long time, I can tell you that, James. I've been watching that on the streams, actually, and I can tell you it is a hassle, but being not the richest guy in the world, I do have to do it on streams, and it works out pretty well. You just have to have a couple of different backups just in case one of them goes bad, but you got it. It's all right. IA says, I mainly want Mourinho because I know he'll bench the players who aren't bothered with even trying. That's true. He does that, I have to say. Mourinho does that, and he basically, what I like about Mourinho is he gives the players a kick up the backside, and that's something that maybe we do need at Madrid, because Ancelotti was kind of like that. He was kind of a bit of a soft coach, and Zidane's kind of a bit of a soft coach, He likes to ostracize some players maybe, but he is a bit of a soft coach, and maybe we do need someone who can, push the players a little bit more, because right now, I am seeing too much complacency. I says Mou even benched Pogba at some point last season. I think he did. I think it was at the end of last season where Manchester at the end of his tenure where he was benching Paul Pogba pretty much all the time, and it was just because the relationship had fallen, and I don't know there. I would exonerate Pogba to some extent just because. It was more of a relationship. It was more of a discord than anything else. I think Mourinho, you can't fully vindicate him. I think he had some fault in that too. I know Mourinho, he does, push players more, and I do like that about him. But The Pogba thing, I don't know if, it was, I don't think it was all Pogba's fault. That's what I have to say about it, I guess. Creative Content says Van de Beek or Hakim Ziyech. That's a good one. You put me on the spot. A lot of people put me on the spot these days. I'm going to go with, because on the right we don't have a lot of players either. But if we can play Vinicius or Brahim Diaz, then I would say, Van de Beek, because I would say Van de Beek, just because we're, like I said, we don't have a lot of squad depth, and I would say that the team is really calling for a midfielder. You look at the lack of creativity in the past few games. Modric is dwindling down. Modric, he still has a little bit of creativity, but he's dwindling down. He's not the same Modric of old. So I would say Van de Beek for me. Gabriel Bonte says he doesn't know how to deal with the modern footballer like Pogba and Martial. He only likes players that runs through big walls. That's true. That's true to some extent. I have to give it to you. That's true. He doesn't know, how to deal with the player. What I would say about Mourinho, he's very, autocratic. He's very inflexible, and that's what I don't like about Mourinho too much. Is it's his way or the highway, and essentially, with the modern footballer, you don't get that. You have to be a little bit more flexible. Mourinho doesn't have that, but. What I do like about Mourinho is he will push the players. He will give them a kick up their backside, and that's what they need at the moment. Maybe Mourinho could provide that. James says, as much as I hate it to say, if Zidane flops, we'll have missed out on Pochettino. Pochettino would have been great. I know Pochettino would have been absolutely perfect, but we have Zidane, and we can't forget all the trophies he's won. We can't forget the bad preseasons we've had before this. So. Maybe he could still come good, It's still early days. It's still very, very early days. And then James says, who I think every Madrid fan wants as manager one day. Yeah, I know. Pochettino it would be fantastic to have him here. This would have been the perfect summer to get him in, says James. Yeah, in hindsight you could say that, but then, Pochettino had and I don't want to say Pochettino would have had the same preseason, but if he would have had I would say maybe not as good as a preseason as maybe people would have expected or something along those lines. In hindsight, it's very easy to say, we can, we should have gotten someone else or things like that. But, we got to stick with Zidane. It's still early days. Creative Content says Madrid need one center back like Koulibaly, Skriniar, Van Dijk. Yeah, exactly. Especially with, you have Sergio Ramos, who is going towards the end of his career. We do need another center back to fill his shoes, and that comes, obviously in Koulibaly or Skriniar or someone like that. I've seen a little bit of Skriniar. He looks absolutely fantastic. That guy looks like a brick wall, and I would love to have Skriniar at Real Madrid. I think he would be perfect for us. But no links to him. So we just got to work with what we have at the moment. I says move 5 months ago. We've done fantastic things. We won La Liga. We've had bad times. I probably made mistakes, but I improved a lot as a coach and as a person after that experience. He changed maybe. I wouldn't say he changed so much though, because you look at people throughout their lives and they rarely change, I have to say, and I don't think Mourinho's one person that will change. He I wouldn't say he loves himself too much, but he's got too much pride in himself, and I don't think he really sees any flaws in himself, and I don't think he sees any reason why he would change. Creative Content says, do you think Nabil Fekir for 18 million is worth the risk? Yeah, I would have done it actually. Real Betis, they do make a lot of signings, I guess, that are, I would say, how can I say this? They do make a lot of big signings, and Nabil Fekir is another one who, it is a bit risky. You see Jesse Rodriguez, you see Sergio Canales, obviously. Is he worth the risk? Yeah, he is worth the risk, I think. I heard about it, the injury or something along those lines that he had. And, they did the same thing with Jesse Rodriguez. They took the risk, and I don't think Jesse Rodriguez will really prove that much at Real Betis, but so sad to see, the demise of Jesse Rodriguez's career, because ultimately he could have been a great player for us at Madrid. Nabil Fekir is worth the risk. Well, Soccer League Academy says, sorry I had to leave on the stream temporarily. What's the news going on with Paul Pogba? So Paul Pogba, let me just give you the news really quick. Let me check if I can pull that up. Paul Pogba, obviously, he said that the question mark obviously remains. There's obviously things that have been said. So obviously, Pogba has said the necessary things to make the move to Real Madrid. I think he's just waiting on Real Madrid to make the move. But I think the big discrepancy is that Florentino Perez doesn't I would say doesn't really fancy the move for Paul Pogba. Doesn't really want to get him at Real Madrid, and I think that's why there's no real interest. I would say and Zinedine Zidane obviously really wants him at Real Madrid. He got the reassurances, but I have no idea. I think the thing with Paul Pogba, Real Madrid are still in for him, and I think Zinedine Zidane will be pushing Florentino Perez, but whether we can get it done or not, I think it's still possible. I know a lot of Manchester United fans are saying it's impossible. You're not going to get him. We don't have any midfielders, so you can't get him and stuff like that. But if the player pushes for a move, then he will make the move happen. So I would say it's definitely possible. I was sticking to 95% sure at the beginning of the transfer window. Now I'm sticking to 15%. I'm going to stick with 15%. I don't think it's a very big possibility. I think Real Madrid are still in for Paul Pogba. And I think Zinedine Zidane obviously wants to make the move happen. But I think now, and Paul Pogba really, he said all the things he needed to say. I think now it's just up to Real Madrid to make the move, to try a little bit harder. I think right now we've just made a bid with Thomas Rodriguez, and it's about 27 million euros, which is a big joke. You at least try a little bit harder, I would say. Come up with a bid that's kind of worth considering. And so I think we're still in, but it just depends on the board whether they will really, really try to get him in or not. Let's see here. Gabriel Lamonte says Maguire. James Julian says next manager will surely be Mourinho unless Zidane turns it around and runs out his contract. Mourinho's surely a replacement for a sack manager, whereas Poch will be an entire new evolution. That's a good point, James. You always see this with Mourinho. Yeah, he could definitely just be a replacement for a sack manager. Mourinho you don't want to. It's not a long-term option. And I guess Real Madrid. There's never really a long-term coach here at Real Madrid, but he is not a long-term option. That is what I have to say about it. And he could be the next manager. Maybe we do need someone like that who can kick the players up their backside and say, hey, you know what, you're not doing good enough on pitch. You gotta work a little bit harder. It's not the name on your back that's gonna really vindicate you from all the work. Let's see here. Little Soccer League Academy says Van de Beek would be fantastic. Yeah, I know. Van de Beek that's what we need here at Real Madrid. We need his energy. We need his presence in the midfield because right now the midfield just looks so lethargic. We need a center back. Also a center midfielder similar to Cruz, like Ruben Neves, who would be fantastic. I know, yeah. Ruben Neves here at Madrid. We should go for someone like that. I doubt we're going to get someone like that, but I don't understand why we haven't gone for him. Maybe a little bit more, yeah. I says that was a quote from him, so he admitted his mistakes. All right. Little Soccer League, yeah, that's true. I guess he admitted his mistakes. That's true. That's a good point. But whether he changed or not is a different story, right? The first step is admitting. The next is changing. Little Soccer League Academy says Ruben Neves, please come. Yeah. Dinesh Kumar says I always choose Pochettino or Klopp over Zidane, even before Zidane coming back, because Zidane not tactically flexible. His main positive is band management. But this season, he isn't good in that, too. I know, it's not that great for Zinedine Zidane at the moment. And the thing with him is he will have to make the mistakes that he hasn't made previously. We will have to see those mistakes, unfortunately. Little Soccer League Academy says, what's the news with Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes? Eriksen, I don't think there's anything picking up for, Eriksen and Real Madrid. I don't think there's any new news. But maybe Eriksen could provide a little bit more in the midfield. Maybe we do need someone like Christian Eriksen. Or Bruno Fernandes is a good shot, too. Bruno would be fantastic. 50 goals and assists between him. Yeah, that's good, and that's what we need here at Real Madrid. Is we need goals in the midfield. We haven't had that actually in a bit, so we do need goals, and Bruno Fernandes is certainly one that could provide us with that. Dinesh says, what do you think about FFP regulation if we get Pogba? Well, I guess like I mentioned earlier, Barcelona have Coutinho, Dembele, Griezmann, Suarez, and I guess potentially they can get Neymar. So I don't know if they can get away with that, then maybe we can get away with quite a bit more, So I don't know what's going on with FFP. It's all a bit weird. It's all a bit convoluted, but there you go. I really don't know what's going on. But, with Paul Pogba, the situation, I guess, is we would have to pay Manchester United up front. Whereas if we do get someone like Neymar, I think we can just pay them in installments or just pay them, later on. But I don't know. We'll have to see. James says, I love Mourinho, to be frank. I'd love him to come in after Zidane, then Poch after him. Yeah, I know. There's something about a love-hate relationship with Mourinho. I really don't like him in some way, but I think I like his character. There's something about him, It's just, I think it's the character. I think it's kind of like Neymar, and I think Ronaldo had it, where it's just kind of like they make themselves hated, and I think that Real Madrid, we haven't had that. We've been probably a little bit soft in these past few years, and we do need someone who brings us that. Who makes us. I would say Real Madrid needs to be hated again. Maybe it sounds like a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually a good thing, and Mourinho would certainly bring that. Little Soccer League Academy says hopefully Zidane stays. The only managers I replace him with is Guardiola, but he has played and coached at Barcelona. Is happy at City. Pochettino would be good too. Yeah, Little Soccer League Academy. I think Pochettino would be perfect for us. Guardiola obviously has coached at Barcelona. We don't want anything to do with him. But Pochettino would be absolutely fantastic. I would say Poch, we should have gotten him. But you know what? I think we should have gotten Zidane too. So I'm going to stick with Zinedine Zidane, and I will back him. I will back him. Little Soccer League Academy says, is Kubo still going to be loaned out? I'm not sure. The Real Valladolid actually repudiated those claims. So they rejected those claims, and they said that there hasn't been any contact with Kubo. So I don't know what the situation is with that is. I guess we'll have to see. Also, did you see the news about Joao Field? That's true. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to make sure to take a look at it. Let's see here. Felipe. There you go. Cool. There you go. Okay, I see him. Thanks. I will get to that, actually. That's true. Yeah, the guy is a phenom, and we need to snap him up before he becomes a world beater and gets snapped up by someone else. All right, I'll make sure to look at that. Thanks for telling me that. Sorry about that. Sorry I had to get back to you on that. Little Soccer League Academy says, I want Zidane to stay. Also, Rafael Varane has been horrible, for the past season, and even in preseason you saw it a little bit. I would say in the last game he did okay, but I want to see more from Rafael Varane. It really looked not that great, I would say, from Rafael Varane. So I'm going to end it pretty soon, guys, probably in about 2 or 3 minutes, I would say. Obviously, for all the people that watch pre-recorded, it's very difficult, I don't want to make it too cumbersome for them, so hopefully they can watch a little bit of it. But I do want to recap, of course, really quickly. Let's see here. Little Soccer League Academy says sell Lucas, Bale, and Nacho, maybe James and Mariano. I would say for those 5, Mariano I wouldn't sell, but I think Zinedine Zidane doesn't fancy him, so I would sell. I would have to sell all of them just because Zinedine Zidane doesn't fancy him. But if it were for me, I would say, let's see. Whoops, where was I? Sell Lucas. Lucas I would sell. Bale I would keep, but I wouldn't have him as my first team option. Nacho I would sell. James I would keep. And Mariano I would keep. So if that were for me, I would keep those and sell the other players. Little Soccer League Academy says Isco needs to pick it up. Yeah, I know. Isco hasn't been great, and we do need to see a little bit more from Isco. But I guess that's how Isco is. It's a little bit up and down from him. Creative Content says Eriksen, Dybala, Bruno Fernandes, and Van de Beek. Real can get anyone. Yeah, Real Madrid have, they do have the power to get anyone. It's Real Madrid. They always have leverage when it comes to getting any players, I would say. IA says, just looked up my old comments on Reddit when Zidane was announced. Safe to say I was right, even though I got a lot of hateful replies. Wow, that's good. Good point. We'll have to see. I know the thing about Zinedine Zidane. He's not the best hack. Obviously, hopefully he can learn that. And that's true. It's true. You're right. I have to give it to you that maybe Mourinho could be better for us. Yeah. James says, surely if La Liga make Barca pay another 80 million to Atleti for Griezmann, then they can't get Neymar. Come on, Atleti. Exactly. Little Soccer League Academy says, I also hear we might include Courtois and Navas in a deal with Neymar. I heard about that too. Navas obviously, if that were to happen, I say if we were to include one of those players, I say we shouldn't do it. And the reason I say that is just because Courtois at the moment is not working well. Navas is a phenomenal goalkeeper, and I would like to see him. I would like to see us, just working with what we got, Jovic, and Jovic will come good, So I'd rather see Navas in front of goal than Courtois at the moment. James says all Neymar shirts and merchandise were removed from PSG's store. That's right. He's 100% leaving. I hope it's to Madrid, but I don't know. So, yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, I did hear about that too, and obviously PSG, they don't want anything to do with Neymar at this point. Obviously, you can just see this by the way they, the fans have acted. Obviously, they've their vociferous chants. what did they? I don't know. I don't even know what they said, but it was pretty. I would say, they Neymar, you son of a, and then Neymar get lost. I mean, pretty harsh words for Neymar, but Neymar, when he arrived at PSG, never made it easy. Never made it easy for the PSG fans to have an affinity for him. That you could see with the Edinson Cavani thing, with the penalty thing, with the little I would say with the little quarrel they had. Cavani wanted to take the penalty, and then Neymar, no, me, us. And that for me, it was just so stupid. That's how Neymar is. Very, very, very cynical. Little Soccer League says, also, I don't know why a lot of these deals are stalling. We have money. We haven't been that much active in the last couple of windows. And didn't Florentino make plenty of assurances to Zidane? Yeah, I know. Especially the Paul Pogba one. I don't understand why we can't get Paul Pogba. We should have gotten him, earlier in the transfer window, especially with the assurances to Zidane. It should have happened much earlier. And Little Soccer League Academy says, if Neymar comes, I'll be the first to buy his jersey. I know Neymar he's a world-class player. Let's not, his personality is not one of a role model, but he is absolutely world-class. And I would take him, I have to say. I would take him. But anyways, to quickly recap, what I want to say is that, Neymar to Barcelona, it looks like it's going to happen. It looks like a deal is more and more imminent. You saw the lawyers in the Camp Nou, obviously James saying that maybe the lawyers talked about something else, but you know how lawyers are. They lie all the time, So I'm sure the lawyers were talking about the Neymar deal and what was going on with that. So Neymar to Barcelona seems likely. Obviously, Real Madrid were linked a lot to Neymar, but now, obviously Messi is at Barcelona. There would have been a fracturation in the, I would say, Messi and Neymar relationship. So I was rated it at 4 out of 10. I'm going to go with still 4 out of 10 for Neymar to Real Madrid. I don't think it'll happen much, but it's still a possibility. I think Real Madrid are still in for him, but I think Neymar would much prefer a move to Barcelona. So we'll just have to give it some time, I would say. And then as for the Paul Pogba situation, obviously he said a few things that, that were very telling, I would say, about the situation he's currently in. Obviously, he said everything he needed to say to get out of Manchester United. It's up to Real Madrid now to really, really make some concrete moves for Paul Pogba, because really Paul Pogba, he would help the midfield a lot here at Real Madrid. What I would say is that we do need a couple more midfielders, but that is the situation with Paul Pogba at the moment. And Van de Beek obviously asking for clarity, despite the ongoing talks with Real Madrid. All right, so James says, bye, man. Another great stream. Thank you so much, James. I really appreciate it. Like I said, you're a great trooper, and thank you for being on. Little Soccer League Academy says Real Madrid make 150 to 170 million. Yeah, exactly. Why, 150 million, I think Manchester United would consider that. Why don't we just try it? The worst thing that can happen is really that they say no. So there you have it. So I'm going to end it there, guys. I think that's all I have for you guys today. Tomorrow it'll be another live stream at 7:30 p.m. CST. And there you guys go. That's all I have for you guys today. So like I said, thank you guys so much for being on. Of course, like I said, let me know if you guys, see anything that you want on the channel, anything that you want improved. Any little things, feel free to let me know, Little Soccer League Academy says, thanks for your stream, man. Good job, the man, the myth, the legend. Thank you so much, Little Soccer League Academy. Really appreciate that. Take care, man. All right, you guys. I'm going to end it right there. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys all so much. I really appreciate it. And take care, guys. Have a good one.